This video that you're about to watch is brought to you by Squarespace.
Well, here we are back in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, and today we're bringing you a fixer-upper's fantasy. Well, welcome back to Preservation Travels with Lane and Kevin. Today we're bringing you another treat here at our Restoration Nation. You may have noticed that you aren't seeing us do a lot of hard work in the last couple of weeks. That's because Kevin and I have decided that we went through a trauma with our last project. We spent 8 months finishing up our beautiful Pearl on Linton Avenue in Natchez, Mississippi, but the last 12 weeks were excruciating. We were under a timeline, down to the wire, and we exhausted ourselves. So over the next few weeks, we're bringing you beautiful homes for sale and fabulous fixer-uppers. And we have got a real treat for you today here in downtown Little Rock, right outside the Quapaw Quarter, a fixer-upper's fantasy. So let's walk through and see what's been done, what can be done, and how much we think it's going to cost you to do it. Well, I'm standing in what looks like was being prepared to be perhaps an office space. Now let's talk about what's been done in this house. It's going to be really, really good for you. First of all, it's been completely demoed, as you can see. You don't have to come in here and worry about lath and plaster, pulling out old wiring, pulling out old ductwork. It's all been done. It's been stripped down to the bare bones, and you can see the floor plan and the flow of the house. So you have the front entry that you saw me with the introduction, and now you have this first room here to the left. It's a fairly modest size space. I won't say small, it's a modest size space. So I'm gonna guess not meant to be the main living room. But one of the things that I love about this house, I can tell you already, are the 12-foot ceilings. So every room, no matter the square footage of the actual room, is going to feel monumental. So all of your framing's been done. As you can see, they've come in here, they have relied on a lot of the original joists, which are still in great shape. Those that needed work, they've sistered in, so all of that work's been done, and they've reframed out your rooms with your fire stop blocks in your framing. That's a framing technique that we have to have for modern code. So this room is framed out and ready to go. Now, some things they did that we don't love, that if it were my project, I would undo. They've replaced the windows with modern windows. They've taken out our originals and replaced them with moderns. You don't have to redo that if you don't want to. I'm sure they're great quality windows and they'll last you a good 15 or 20 years. But if it's my project, I'm redoing that. They've also taken out and filled in all of the original fireplaces. Now, there are some original mantelpieces still hanging out in this house, and as we go through, you'll see them. So, were it my project, I'd be opening those fireboxes back up and putting those fireplaces back in. Let's now go into what I think should be the main parlor of this house. Well, here we are in what I would think would be your main living space. It's a huge space. I absolutely love it. Again, 12-foot ceilings, a beautiful bay window behind us. Going through this house, all I see is opportunity and potential. But what I also see are a lot of original materials in the room that we were just in. And in this room, we have tons of the original solid wood doors. You'll see surrounding me original plumbing fixtures. We have clawfoot bathtubs, toilets, sinks. I love this high back enamel sink for the kitchen or the utility room. A lot of your material is still here. It's just kind of in odd spaces. You kind of have to go on a little treasure hunt to find it, but it's all here and ready to go back in for you. And this is an absolutely fantastic space to turn into either, like I said, a front parlor or potentially a main bedroom on the first floor. Well, here we are in what could become your monumental dining room space. It's huge and it can be beautiful. I hate that the windows behind me are boarded up because this room would normally be flooded with natural light and give you absolutely glorious light throughout the day. Now, something I would change. were I the one doing this house? You can see underneath my feet here in the floor is original hardwood flooring. This does appear to be oak flooring. They obviously had some problems with the flooring throughout the rest of the house, and so they've pulled up the original flooring and they've made this level with the intention of using a laminate to go over the top. Laminate to us is a sin and a crime. I would never do it. So either I would pull up this wood that they've used as a subfloor and feather in with more oak to get back to your original look, or I would go over it with a 3/4 inch oak flooring. It's still available, it's still on the market. You can still have it milled if you need to, but it's going to give you a much more authentic look than any kind of prefab laminate could ever do. But in the end, this could be an incredible space. And to imagine it, all you have to do is go back and look at the Kirby Curtis house we did a few weeks ago. This house is much further along than Tony's was when he started it. So this is the beginning of a dream. Well, who wants to create a dream kitchen? Out of the box, unfitted maybe, turn of the century look, or do you want a modern kitchen with all of the modern amenities, bright colors, sleek appliances? If you can dream it, you can do it in this space, because this kitchen is huge. It's an enormous space, again, with 12-foot ceilings, just waiting for someone with the right vision to come along and make it into a dream space. Something else I love about this house is you have 2 staircases. You have what would be your main staircase coming off the main part of the house, and then you have a back staircase. So you have so much access to your second floor from this space. They're already framed in, they're ready to go. All you have to do is find the perfect salvaged newel post, banister, and handrail to put on these, and you'll have beautiful period staircases right back in this house. So you might look at this house and think, I'm gonna have to spend a fortune on trim because everything's been stripped out. Well, behind this wall, there's a little secret. Not only is there a great 1940s, 50s cast iron bathtub, which those are always a treasure, but in a room back here, you've got all of your original trim just waiting to be stripped and reinstalled. So you've got original materials just waiting to go back into their original spot. Here we are upstairs. This space is monumental. All of your bedrooms are framed out. They're ready to go. And look what I found behind me, a cache of old windows. So you could put some of them back if you wanted to. If you're a purist like we are, you could put them back. What is even better, if you look above me, you have your duct work for your central heat and air, which in the South is absolutely mandatory. It's the one thing we have to have, really almost before a roof. You have to have your central heat and air. So that's already run for you. You have a huge upstairs space, plenty of room for, I think, 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. But something else that's up here that we just discovered as we were poking around. I told you downstairs there's 2 staircases. Well, actually, there are 3, because at the back of the house, there's an independent unit. It's being designed as an apartment with a downstairs living space and potentially an upstairs bedroom and bathroom with its own staircase and its own entryway. And that is because we think we're right here next to a university. So you could do the house, live in the house as your main home, and then have an income producing property completely independent of the main house right in the back. So let's take a look around this incredible upstairs space. I am standing for our out on the beautiful front porch that has its original columns and spindles. Aren't those fantastic? And the house retains tons of its original cladding. So when you're done with this, it could truly be a masterpiece. Now let's talk numbers, because that's something everybody always wants to know. You hear those bells? We're in downtown Little Rock with church bells. I love it. Numbers, depending upon how handy you are, how much sweat equity you're willing to put in. Kevin and I would hang our own drywall, lay our own floors, do our own tiles, put on our own cabinets. So for us, this is a $100,000 project. For you, depending upon how much work you do, you're probably looking at between $150,000 and $250,000. Remember, when I talk numbers, I am talking about numbers for the economy and market in which the house exists. I am not talking about numbers in Portland, Oregon, and what it would cost you there to do this house. I am talking about the numbers and what it would cost you to do this house in Little Rock, Arkansas, with our market and our construction pricing. So please don't feel the need to tell me what you think it would cost, because that's what it costs in your area. We're talking about here and in this market and the value for this property here. So when this house is completed, the size that it is, with the apartment out back, with Philander Smith College literally across the street, this home's value is probably going to be at $350,000 to $450,000. If you can buy it at its bargain basement price, put $100,000 to $150,000 in it, you're still $50,000 to $100,000 right side up, and you have an income producing property in your own backyard. So we think this is a winner of a fixer-upper for you. Thanks for joining us on Preservation Travels with Lane and Kevin here at our Restoration Nation, and we'll see you next time.
We're so excited to have Squarespace as a sponsor again for this video.
Squarespace gives you a beautiful and powerful platform from which to launch your website. I use Squarespace daily. That's where our Restoration Nation website is, and several of my clients' websites are made through Squarespace. Squarespace helps you create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system that supports threaded comments, replies, and likes. Use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule your posts too. And ship items across the globe. Connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated, members-only content. Manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all on one easy-to-use platform. I love the insights that I get from Squarespace. The analytics are off the charts, and they're very informative and great to learn from, learn your audience, and make a better website. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/OurRestorationNation for 10% off a domain or website.